Good afternoon everyone. Today we will be discussing the management of carcinoma cervix. So first we need to define what is early and what is late carcinoma cervix. Though there is no standard definition yet, the concept for same is that for which a single modality can be used and for which multimodality is required. Concept is disease which might be considered generally amenable to primary surgery, that is FIGO stage less than 1B, 2 or 2A, and ABS it defines early disease as non-bulky stage 1, 2 which is less than 4 cm in diameter, and by and large early stage is defined as a stage which can be managed by single modality therapy. So what are the various treatment modalities for the treatment? It is surgery, radiotherapy and chemotherapy. The surgical options, they include simple conization, radical trachelectomy and hysterectomy. Conization, it is indicated in stage 1A1 or for invasive carcinoma with a central lesion less than 2 cm on imaging knife conization with lymphadenectomy can be done for fertility preservation. In this, cone-shaped or cylindrical wedge from the cervix is excised, which includes the transformation zone and all or a portion of the endocervical canal. Radical trachelectomy, it includes the removal of cervix entirely with parametrial tissue and upper 1 to 2 cm of vagina with paracolpos, and it is a means of fertility preservation in early stage and usually recommended in age less than 40 years with stage 1A1, 1A2 or 1B1 squamous cell or adenocarcinoma which is less than 2 cm with no LVSI. So for selecting such individual, first we need to do a pre-operative imaging to rule out nodal involvement, that is PET should be done, and for endocervical extension MRI should be done. And the third option for surgery is hysterectomy, and these are the various types of hysterectomy, which is one is intrafacial, type 1 is extrafacial, type 2 is modified radical, and type 3 is radical hysterectomy. Regarding radiotherapy, various options are definitive external radiotherapy to pelvis plus minus para-aortic region if the para-aortic nodes are involved, vaginal brachytherapy, adjuvant RT in cases surgery has been done for the primary lesion, and chemoradiotherapy. Then what is the stage-wise management of carcinoma cervix? For FIGO stage 1A1, the treatment is either TAH, BSO, close observation or brachytherapy alone in patients who are not fit for surgery. And for FIGO stage 1A2, the options include surgery, and surgery can be modified radical hysterectomy, or if the fertility is desired, then radical trachelectomy with pelvic lymph node dissection. Other option is radiotherapy with brachytherapy. For microinvasive cancer, which is stage 1A1, conization is mandatory and it can be performed with a scalpel or electrosurgical loop. The lymph node metastasis is less than 1%, lymph node dissection or pelvic external radiation is usually not warranted. So we have seen that lymph node metastasis is less than 1% in patients with microinvasive cancer, and lymph node dissection or pelvic RT is usually not indicated. For patients who have inadvertently diagnosed lesions on simple hysterectomy, if it is microinvasive and the surgery is that has been done is either total or extrafacial hysterectomy with a white cuff is performed, then no additional treatment is required. For patients with deep stromal invasion or 1 or 2 vaginal, then the brachytherapy is recommended. On patients with a fully invasive tumor, it is EBRT with brachytherapy. For patients with stage 1A2, 1B1, 75% surgery alone is required, and 25% patients some form of RT was given. It is according to the FIGO 24th annual report, and standard surgery included radical hysterectomy with pelvic lymph node dissection, and the DFS for such patients was 74% and OS 85%. The conservative surgery for early stage where the risk of parametrial involvement is less than 1%, it can be done in 1A2, 1B1 which is less than 2 cm, limited stromal invasion and no LVSI. And the SHAPE trial, it compares radical hysterectomy and pelvic lymph node dissection versus simple hysterectomy and pelvic lymph node dissection in patients who have low risk early stage as defined cervical cancer 1A2, 1B1 low risk. And a prospective comparison of patients who have undergone radical hysterectomy or radiotherapy for stage 1, the OS and DFS was similar, and 10-year survival was also non-significant. Complications were different. They were relatively, and they were not much, except there was a greater incidence of urinary tract problems after the surgical treatment. And for primary RT, Eiffel et al., according to this trial, which was in stage 1B, 1CA cervix, the 5-year survival was 90% for squamous, and for adeno it was 83%. Pelvic failure were more in adeno carcinoma patient, and distant failure were also more. So basically what they want to show is patient who have early stage squamous, RT should be the preferred modality, and for adeno the surgery should be the preferred modality. For stages 1B, 2, 2A, the treatment modalities, they include radical surgery, radical RT, chemo RT, or NACT followed by surgery. According to the TMC guidelines, it can be either type 3 hysterectomy with pelvic lymph node dissection and followed by risk grouping. If it is low risk, the patient can be observed. Intermediate risk, according to the Sedley's criteria, they require pelvic RT, and high risk patients, which we'll be discussing further, they require concurrent chemoradiotherapy. For 1B1, 1B2, they require CT-RT. And this landmark trial by Landini et al., it was a randomized study of radical surgery versus radiotherapy for 1B, 2A cervical cancer, and the primary outcome was 5-year survival and the rate of complications. And it was published in Lancet in 1997, and the results of both were comparable, and there was no difference in recurrence rate, 5-year overall survival, DFS, and were also similar. And in patients with adenocarcinoma, there was a significant advantage for patients who had surgery compared with those who had radiotherapy, and we had seen earlier also that patients who have adeno-CA, their surgery should be the preferred modality. And who are the optimum candidates for primary radical surgery? Those who have normal ovarian function and cervical diameter is less than 4 centimeter. If it is more than 4 centimeter, then it becomes one of the two factors for adjuvant radiotherapy, and RT is a preferable option for postmenopausal women. So according to NIH guidelines 1997, the choice of treatment, it is determined by age, menopausal status, the ovarian preservation, comorbid conditions, patients with and availability of expertise in surgery and RT to yield the best cure with minimum complications. Adjuvant radiotherapy for high risk, if the patient has positive lymph node after surgery, positive margin or parametrial extension, then adjuvant CT-RT is indicated. For intermediate risk, if any of the two factors are there, deep stromal invasion, LVSI, or tumor size more than 4 centimeter, then adjuvant RT is indicated, and if none is there, then there is no need of any adjuvant therapy. The evidence of adjuvant CT-RT comes from 5 major trials, which were phase 3 randomized trial, and which showed that addition of platinum based concurrent chemotherapy along with RT, it prolongs survival in patients with locally advanced carcinoma stage 1B2 to 4A. And this was also meta-analysis by Lucca et al. And again by Green meta-analysis, which showed a survival benefit of 10% with the addition of chemotherapy. The role of extended field radiotherapy is in patients who have para-aortic lymph nodes. These were the trials by Peter and Eiffel, and in February 1999, the NCI announced that there is a role of addition of chemotherapy. These were the 5 major randomized trials which led to such conclusion. And for stage 1B to 3B, if it is para-aortic lymph node negative, then it is radical CT-RT, and if it is para-aortic lymph node positive, then extended field RT along with chemotherapy, and it is external beam is followed by brachytherapy. And for 4A, the option includes CT-RT, surgery or palliative RT, and for 4B, it is palliative chemo or RT or best supportive care. And the dose which is required for stage 1A is 50 to 60 gray LDR equivalent, 1B to A is 75 to 80 at point A, and 2B onwards it is 85 to 90 gray. And the overall treatment time also has impact on the local control outcomes. And the toxicity which are there are gastrointestinal, GI and hematological. These are the acute, and the late toxicity also includes GI toxicity, GU and vaginal stenosis. Follow-up should be done every 3 monthly for the first 2 years, 6 monthly until 5 years, and then annually. Thank you.